US voter registration is still ongoing, so if you haven't registered yet, this is a good time to do it and get ready to vote. Other news this hour. Governor Fubara debunks insecurity claims, says River State safe and open for business. SDP chieftain speaks on governance in River State 2 months after emergency rule. Fire behind Captain Elechi Amadi Polytechnic kills 2 children. Reactions trail PDP's expulsion of Wike, Fayose, Ayawo and others. Super Eagles crash out of 2026 FIFA World Cup. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili with the news. Now, we begin the news this hour with a reassurance from Governor Fubara. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has dismissed reports claiming that the state is unsafe. He spoke on Sunday night during an amateur golf championship in Port Harcourt. The governor says the large number of visitors from across Africa at the event shows that the negative stories about insecurity in River State are exaggerated, planned, and politically motivated. He insists that the state is peaceful and open for business, tourism, and major events.
That since we have peace now in the state, there won't be negative news again. Half of the things you read are not true. There are worse things that have happened in other states, but because they manage their media, people don't hear about it. But I can tell you, we'll work on our image to assure people that River State is safe. And when we talk about safety, we had a lot of visitors here. You have gone about your businesses, and nothing has happened to you. What else are we talking about when we come to the issue of safety? But we'll still have to do better than what we have on ground.
Governor Fubara notes that although political issues caused about 6 months of tension earlier, the Joint Security Team has worked hard to restore peace since his administration fully resumed.
Since we came in after our sabbatical leave, the security situation has been very wonderful. I can say that we have a joint team that has been ensuring that the state is at peace. When you are going, tell the good people that you will meet outside River State your wonderful experience so that it will change our story.
Now, he promised that the government will continue to support the tournament, revive the Governorship Cup, revive the Governor's Cup and help improve the golf club's facilities. He also reaffirms the state's commitment to hosting events that attract national and international participants. Also speaking, the General Officer commanding the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Emmanuel Eric Emeka, says the peaceful atmosphere encouraged them to hold the tournament in River State, and its successful completion proved it was the right choice. The organizers add that participants from 8 African countries and players from 36 golf clubs across Nigeria took part in the championship. Meanwhile, a chieftain of the Social Democratic Party in River State, Swema Osaro, is responding to concerns that governance in River State has been slow 2 months after emergency rule ended. This is because Governor Fubara has still not formed a full cabinet, and the House of Assembly has met only twice since it returned from suspension. Osaro says the 6-month suspension period caused emotional and physical stress, which may be affecting the pace of government activities. He believes there is no need to rush after such a tense time and is confident that both the executive and legislature can still achieve a lot.
The political actors, the executive, the assembly may have passed through a lot, physically, emotionally, and otherwise. So I think it will be a gradual process. It's not as if nobody is working. But I think with what everyone passed through, it will be a gradual process, to get back on track fully. So it's ideal to allow and all that has to get healed gradually so that they will swim in one foot.
He adds that more progress will be made as the administration fully settles into its duties.
I wouldn't advocate holiness in any shape. If you recall that 2 years prior to when the emergency was declared, the executive were up and doing. So naturally, let the process flow with harmony, flow with gradual rebuilding so that the people will still have or feel the dividends of democracy. Yeah, we still have a year plus before the end of the administration. But even within a year, a lot can still happen that will impact on the people positively.
Now to a tragic story in the state. 2 children aged 6 and 8 have died after a fire burned down a makeshift building behind Captain Elechi Amadi Polytechnic in River State. The fire started around 9 p.m. on Sunday in a room where a mother had left her 4 children locked in while she went out to buy items for cooking. 2 other children were awake and tried to save their younger siblings who were sleeping, but the heat was too much and they had to run out. The 2 younger children could not escape. Neighbors who had previously had a misunderstanding with the children's mother allegedly did not step in to help and also lost their own belongings as the fire spread through the building, which houses 27 families. In other news, the Federal Road Safety Corps River State Command is supporting the federal government's plan to ban sachet alcoholic drinks across the country starting January 1st, 2026. Sector Commander Ian Omo told our correspondent in Kachimusu that the Corps will increase its campaigns against selling and drinking sachet alcohol inside motor parks.
Do that at campaign. Do that at campaign. Enlighten people, discourage people taking alcohol, especially at the park, before some driver enter the steering. So we have been doing that. It's what we call morning cry, and we go to parks and talk to people about it. As a core, as a body, we are happy. If NAFDAC are able to succeed in banning the use of such a drink, so we are in support of it.
Umar also explains the penalties that drivers will face if they are caught drinking and driving during this festive season.
We have what we call alcoholizer, and there's a level of alcohol content that somebody will have in his blood. It's beyond that, we are booked. And we also do a kind of physical test. So aside that, we also do use alcoholizer to test those who are on alcohol.
On the delays in issuing driver's licenses, he says the Corps is working to improve the system so applicants can get their licenses faster.
We are working towards that. But the issue, the Commission has addressed the public that we are going to do away with the temporary license. As soon as you go process your license, you get immediately. So we are in that process, and very soon we'll get over it. And recently, some of the centers, the backlog, we got about 4,000 licenses have been produced, and we are still doing that. Very soon, I believe that we'll get over that backlog, and the court has started something that the whole thing will be over.
And now to politics. The River State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has rejected a national convention held in Ibadan, insisting the exercise was unlawful and its outcomes unenforceable. In a statement by its publicity secretary, Kenneth Yonwika, the chapter praised INEC for staying away, saying the commission acted in line with Federal High Court orders restraining the PDP from holding the convention. It criticized the party for going ahead to elect new national officials and dissolving state executives despite the court rulings. The Rivers PDP maintains that the convention will be nullified by the court and urges members to remain confident in the judicial process. However, Robinson Ewo, the factional party chairman loyal to Governor Fubara, attended a convention with some party chieftains. All efforts by our correspondent to speak with him have not been successful. Now, earlier, the faction of the PDP that conducted the convention made big decisions at its national convention in Ibadan, expelling FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, former Ekiti State Governor Ayo Fayose, National Secretary Samuel Ayamu, the party's legal advisor Kamaldeen Ajibade, Austin Nwachukwu, and several others. The party insisted it is over what it describes as anti-party activities. Party leaders took the decision unanimously at Saturday's convention. Chieftain Bode George moved the motion and the Bauchi State PDP chairman seconded it. The party also dissolved all its structures in Rivers, Imo, Abia, Enugu, and Akwa Ibom State. But not everyone is on board with the expulsions. The factional national secretary of the PDP, Samuel Ayawo, describes the event as a jamboree. Ayawo says it is illegal because several states had not held their congresses. Similarly, Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri, who also chairs the 2025 Elective National Convention, says the move is not in the party's best interest. Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang also insists the expulsion was neither discussed nor endorsed by the Governors Forum or the NEC. Interestingly, while the expulsion was being announced, Wike was in Lagos attending Ayofashe's 65th birthday celebration. He described Fayose as a reliable ally and praised his wife for standing by him. Vice President Kashim Shettima and former Senate President Bukola Saraki were also at the event. Meanwhile, the PDP now has a new national chairman, Kabiru Turaki, former Minister of Special Duties and a senior advocate of Nigeria. He won with 1,516 votes, defeating Senator Yakubu Damake, who scored 275 votes. Now, delegates from 17 states took part in the exercise. The convention also had several top party figures in attendance, including Governors Sheyi Makinde, Bala Mohammed, Dauda Lawal, and others. But the governors of Rivers, Osho, and Taraba were absent. Still to come, U.S. House Subcommittee on Africa to hold hearing on Thursday to review Nigeria's designation as country of particular concern. Stay with us. Now, President Bola Tinubu has sent an emissary to Plateau State as part of renewed effort to restore peace and strengthen intercommunal harmony. His aide on community engagement, Dr. Abiodun Esiet, spent 2 days meeting Christian leaders, Fulani communities, traditional rulers, and youth groups to reinforce grassroots peace structures. The visit included town hall sessions, workshop on community peace frameworks, and closed-door meetings with groups like the Irigwe community and Mieti Allah to strengthen an existing 17-member peace committee. Esiet restated the president's commitment to peace, inclusive governance, and long-term stability in Plateau and the wider north-central region. Presidential aide Bayo Onanoga says the engagement have already yielded results, including the resolution of a dispute between a Jos farmer and some herders after the MACBAN chairman in Bassa paid 500,000 naira compensation. Meanwhile, the U.S. House Subcommittee on Africa will hold a hearing on Thursday to review Nigeria's designation as a country of particular concern for religious freedom. The hearing will discuss reports of attacks on Christians and potential U.S. actions, including sanctions and aid restrictions. In other news, the presidency is defending sending 749 delegates to the COP30 climate talks, saying officials from many ministries are needed to represent the country. However, critics, including former Labour Party candidate Peter Obi, says the large delegation is a waste, given Nigeria's poverty and low GDP. On the international scene, 45 Indian pilgrims have died after a bus caught fire near Medina, Saudi Arabia. The pilgrims were traveling from Mecca to Medina for Umrah. One survivor is in hospital. Indian authorities are working with Saudi officials to assist the families. And now we go straight to sports. Nigeria's Super Eagles will not be in next year's FIFA World Cup after they crashed out of the playoffs final last night. DR Congo beat the Super Eagles